Finally over.
So we're going to start it. That's the energy that we're going to bring on this Sunday afternoon.
Yes, Saturday.
Well, it's not really over yet. You still got to make it through one more, buddy.
Still, we made it.
Yeah,
we
almost.
Survived.
We hope so.
Welcome. It was so grueling for us.
Yes, welcome to this final road trip edition of Check-In as we get you set for the Winnipeg Jets game tonight against the Calgary Flames as they close out this 6-game road trip that has lasted 2 weeks.
Forever.
That's right. This game tonight is in the Mountain time zone.
But still at 9 Central.
I looked and I thought, as soon as I saw it, I was well, at least it's going to be 8.
But at least the Jets are on the ice right now as we speak, which is so rare.
It's true. So thanks to all of you. It's great to see so many of you already in the chat. You can catch us, as always, on YouTube, X, Facebook, on the Winnipeg Jets social channels, and then also in podcast form. So if for some reason you are not able to join us, you can still listen to us afterwards on Amazon, Apple, Spotify as we get you set each and every game day for the Winnipeg Jets game that night. We're going to have Sean Reynolds join us from Sportsnet, as well as Kenny and Rennie, of course, to talk about this game. This is the third and final meeting of the season between these two clubs. The Jets won the first 2 games against Calgary.
So like Sean would understand our pain right now in some, because they got actually his shots worse. Like, way worse. Like when I'm in bed and you're in bed, they're still going with their show. So he will understand our pain.
Yes.
And Illegal Curve, those guys will understand.
100%.
They're the few people that understand what we go through.
Well, I mean, I'm sure a lot of the people at home too, just staying up watching. We all have to get up early the next morning. True. We all have to get up for work or kids or whatever it might be. As you mentioned, the Jets taking to the ice right now. So it's 11:30. So we will be keeping an eye on what's going on at morning skate and whether or not we see any changes to the line combinations. What have your thoughts been on this road trip so far? Obviously, this has not gone the way that the Winnipeg Jets would have hoped.
Yeah. Not at all. And I think, and this is something we'll get with Sean a little bit momentarily here, is that I will just look at the Seattle game as kind of an all-encompassing issue. I just saw odd man rush or like rush chances that the Jets were not giving up at all last year.
Right.
Like just that trailing player, the third guy in, would have grade A scoring chances. And we'll hear from Scott Arniel and his thoughts about what happened the other night here momentarily. But just like scoring chances, they were not giving up last year. And even going back as far as 2 years ago. And then giving up a third period lead, like unheard of. Where were they last year?
So we were looking up, we were talking about before, because it is so rare. Last year, they were 41-0-1 when leading after 40.
So they never lost a game
in regulation
when leading after 40 minutes. So I'm watching that game like, okay, they fought their way through. Sure, they're giving up scoring chances, but they're leading going to third. They'll lock things down. And no. They give up the power play goal. Again, the penalty kill has looked pretty average. You're on this road trip. So there's just a lot of things that have been average. Not terrible, just average. And just the level that we have grown accustomed to over the previous 2 seasons, they're just not at that level right now.
Yeah.
And whatever reason it is, again, you can lean into missing key players and then those key players coming back and taking, it doesn't just happen overnight that you're.
Well, they haven't been out of the lineup for 1 or 2 games.
No, it was a long stretch. So it's taking time for them all and Jonathan Toews is getting up to speed. There's a lot of reasons. It's just really weird to see, and maybe in some aspects concerning, because we're also another thing we're looking at.
Yeah.
And Scott Arniel said this the other night, you just can't lose because of the Central Division. You have to keep getting points.
Well, Colorado, I mean, all of
we look at this at the start of this road trip. The Jets were 1 point behind Colorado.
Yeah.
What are they now? 9?
Yes, 9.
And they have a game in hand. That is a lot of space to make up, a lot of ground to make up. And that was to Scott Arniel's point about there's just like you can't keep losing points in that division.
Yeah, certainly not the finish to the game that you would have expected from Seattle. And these were some of the comments that we heard after the game the other night.
All those guys coming back from injury, there's rust. We've had so many of them that have dropped into our lineup on this road trip. It's just them getting back up to speed, getting their timing, correct. And if they're on specialty teams, getting that feel for things. And all that is just play games. Get out and play games, and hopefully you get more and more comfortable each game, as we're starting to see with some of the other guys. Lau's starting to look a little bit more like he's, got the game back under his feet there. Fetz is getting better. So it's just Sammy, Nyquist, those guys, that's just game after game after game.
Caden, let's go the other clip pack too as well, please, bud.
Yeah, we gave up 5 goals. However they came about us, those 3 were D-zone coverage, power play, and then they obviously emptied the netter. It's just, I don't care what game you're in, you can't give up goals like that. And, when our mindset is defending first, I mean, we're doing a pretty good job in the sense, like you mentioned, we didn't give up a lot, but when you give up the quality we gave on their 3 goals, that's the difference.
It's just we haven't played a full 60. There were some glimpses that we really liked our game, but we just kind of fall asleep and we're not executing. We're playing slow at times, and so it's tough to get something going.
Obviously, this isn't the road trip that we planned. Didn't start it great. We had a great game in Vancouver there, and couldn't follow it up. I thought we actually played pretty good at times tonight. I mean, sometimes our execution wasn't great, and we didn't execute at times, and it looked a little sloppy. But I think our effort was good. Our intentions were right, and had a couple breakdowns they capitalized on, and I thought we created some good looks, and just got to get a little more traffic to the net, I think, and generate a little more from down low. And
so that the opportunities, like Seattle didn't have that many shots on goal.
Yeah,
they are right. They defended very well. It's just when they did give up shots, it was the quality.
Right.
That was the issue. And just like that trailing player coming in the rush, like those rush chances.
Yeah,
that's what Scott Arniel was talking about. The beginning of the road trip, and as the road trip wore along, again, not something we saw a whole lot of last year.
Yeah,
so it's a level that we're so used to seeing them play at. And my concern now is you haven't really played any of the heavyweights in the Western Conference. Yes, you played Dallas earlier in the season, but you haven't faced Dallas lately. You certainly haven't played Colorado. You haven't played Vegas. And even though Edmonton's struggling, Edmonton will kill you in those types of things if you defend like that in certain situations. So that's the stuff they have to get right. And again, that plays into key players being out of the lineup that are just getting up to speed.
Yeah, well, I mean, Mitchell Clinton, who's been writing from the road and obviously on this road trip, said on his tweet yesterday, one word has been said a lot over the course of this Jets road trip: execution. And it was the main focus of their practice yesterday in Calgary. No word yet on line combinations coming out of morning skate, but we will continue to keep an eye on it. Dylan Sandberg returns to the line just before we bring in. I see that Sean's back there. So just before we bring him in, he played 23 minutes, 2 blocks, 2 hits, 2 shots on goal. Gus Nyquist back as well, but obviously a lot of the attention focused on the return of Sandberg.
Yeah, like every play that he makes is just so precise and on key, right? It's just all his clearings, all his outlet passes, how he shuts down plays. Him and Neil Pionk didn't give up a goal at 5-on-5. Like all those things that you're just so accustomed to with Dylan Sandberg in your lineup, that all happens. So he will also help the penalty kill a lot once he starts getting up to speed. But it's just great to see Pionk and Sandberg back together. And then we should also take this time to give a lot of credit to Logan Stanley, because the fact that he played in the top 4, was playing a lot of heavy minutes against other teams' best with Neil Pionk, speaks to the big jumps and strides he's made this year. All accustomed to, or going with the fact that when you play a lot of minutes and you're there in the lineup every night, you can get into a rhythm. And Logan Stanley, big round of applause for what he did in the absence of Dylan Sandberg.
Yeah, absolutely. But looking forward to seeing as Sandberg gets back up to speed, what he's able to do. I think that he will also do a lot for Pionk. And Neil's game as well. But why don't we bring in Sean? Why don't we talk about it? Oh, that's so nice of you to join us on a Sunday early afternoon. Huh?
No,
well, you're like, it is actually, Sarah.
Isn't it Saturday?
No, is it?
It's Saturday.
Oh, shoot. Is it Saturday? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tomorrow's Sunday.
Hi.
Oh, gosh.
Sarah, hi, I'm Sean. It's nice to meet you.
Oh, my God. This doesn't bode well for the rest of my week.
Here, Sean, when someone doesn't listen to you when you work with them for a long time? I told her earlier, I nudged her and corrected her, said Saturday. She didn't listen to me. It took for you to say it's Saturday for Sarah.
It took public humiliation.
It's been a really long week.
Yeah. Like
all I know, Sarah, I'm covering the Grey Cup on Sunday, and when you said that, I had a little bit of a panic. I was like, Sarah's not usually wrong with this stuff. I think I should be down at the stadium.
I'm going to the Grey Cup. I wouldn't be here either.
Right.
All right. So my apologies.
So
Saturday.
It's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
All right.
Okay. So let's follow up a little more what we've kind of been talking about here. Though the chances the Jets gave up against Seattle on Thursday, like are we like seeing things? Is that the stuff that we did not see for a very long time, Sean?
Yeah, no, and you touched on it, Jamie. The last 2 years, the Winnipeg Jets have been a team that has looked the same for a really, really long time. And part of that look is not giving up things like that backdoor tap-in that ends up being the game-winning goal. Now, I'm watching the Jets this year. One of the things that I think they have, pretty close to being locked down compared to what they did the last couple of years. One of the things they do really well, they're still really good that when you have the puck in their zone, they're really good at shutting down those shooting lanes and making it really hard for you to get the puck through, for the opposition to get the puck through. So that's one tenet of their offense that seems to be really kind of on. And it's one of those ones that it's your home base. You protect your home base so you don't have to move a lot to do it, right? You just got to make sure that you're getting into the right place in the defensive zone. It's the defending everywhere else on the ice that seems to have slipped a little bit compared to last year's standard. And it's strange because the Jets have been so good. You touched on it, so good for so long. And I've always said they always seem to be the first team in the NHL to get to their system and that standard. And you saw it last year in that 15-1 start that they had. But a lot of the other defending that they're doing, especially up ice, that's tilting the ice and just keeping the puck out of their zone, is not where it was in years past. And that's the interesting thing because it does stand out. And I think we're getting, close to the quarter pole of the season here.
Yes.
You're getting to the point where you got to ask the questions that you're asking. There's people who's been out of the lineup. Dylan Samberg, I've said this before, is the new age Jacob Slavin. I think that he's unbelievable when it comes to being a shutdown defenseman. So there's guys who've got to come and you got to see how this team looks when they get their feet underneath them with everyone else in the lineup. But you also have to ask, for a team that, lost a lot of its speed, you can't replace Nick Ehlers' speed. Brandon Tanev, Rasmus Kupari off the fourth line, Mason Appleton off the third line. This team decided to not shed speed, but it lost some speed. It's undeniable. And they decided to replace it with veteran savvy, right? They're now one of the oldest, if not the oldest teams in the NHL. And I think at the quarter pole, it's fair to start asking the question, can this team be what it was last year, look like what it did last year, Jamie, or the year before, without as much team speed? Can it think its way to being that good defensively rather than being just playing on the inside of your shirt pocket because they're so fast that they're on you at every single turn? And I just think it's something that the team is in the middle of trying to figure out right now.
We're seeing, we mentioned Samberg there. Obviously, they haven't had their full roster that Arniel had expected to be able to have yet this season. So Morgan Barron getting closer to returning as well, hoping to see him if there aren't any setbacks this upcoming week during their homestand. How do you see this roster kind of filling out, or the lines looking? Do you think that we'll just see Morgan go back onto fourth line center? What do you think, Sean, when everybody starts to get healthy? Because I think it's going to be key as they start to face some of the teams that, as Jamie put, we haven't seen so far before, the Colorados, the Dallas, or a speedy team like Carolina.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the year, I had fully assumed that Vladislav Nemestikov was going to pull back into that fourth line center position. I think every tell that they've had since then, and what I've noticed with Scott Arniel is he's not a guy that is hard to figure out. He's pretty upfront and he's pretty honest. This is what I think. This is what I play. And so there's clues in what he's doing. Not so much clues. It's almost like he's telling you that this is going to happen. And I feel like Scott Arniel has been telling us for a long time that Morgan Barron has won that fourth line center position and is going to hold on to it. He looks to me like he's earned it. The team's missed him, clearly not having him in the lineup. The other part of that is Vladislav Nemestikov and Jonathan Toews at the beginning of this year have really had like a click to the two of them, and you can kind of see the veteran savvy I was talking about really working with them. The only kind of a monkey wrench in the middle of that is having brought Cole Perfetti back onto the line. It seems to have slowed down down that kind of hot start that those two players, Namestnikov and Jonathan Toews, had. Nothing against Cole. It's hard in the NHL to jump into a season and get up to speed. It's going to take some time to do that. So it's clear we're going to get a better look at what that line is capable of together with Cole Perfetti as he gets up to speed and they get a little bit more chemistry with each other. But I think we've seen enough from Vladislav Namestnikov and Jonathan Toews together that they're going to get a little bit longer of a runway, which just kind of clears the runway for Morgan Barron to go back into that fourth line center position once he does get back.
Because of their hot start last year, Sean, they were able to, put some distance between themselves and Colorado and Dallas. And yes, Dallas pushed on later. Now it's kind of like reverse. At the start of this road trip, they're 1 point back of Colorado for first, the Central. Yeah. Now they're like 9, right? 9. Mm. Yeah, 9 with a game in hand. That's a lot to make up, is it not?
Yeah. And you know what? You touched on something that I thought was pretty interesting there. You're concerned that they haven't faced a lot of the big dogs yet. Dallas earlier in the year, but this is kind of one of those schedules. So last year, nothing against the Jets 15-1 start, but we had said they had a really ridiculous start at the beginning of the year. I think it was like of their first 20 games, it was something like 16 or 17 were against teams that had missed the playoffs the previous year, right? And this has been somewhat of a similar schedule to start to, and they haven't made hay the way they did last year. I was breaking it down, Jamie. Now, if the Jets are playing the Eastern Conference, they're doing just fine. They're 3-0 against the Eastern Conference so far this year, but they're 500 against the Western Conference so far this year. And when I took a look and I broke it down, they are 1-5 against teams in the West right now. 1 win, 5 losses against teams in the West who are currently in the playoffs, and they're 6-2 against teams that are below the playoff line. So I think what we're seeing here is, I know that the Jets looked at that and they saw the Vancouver game and they thought, oh, we jumped up and we had a better game there, and then we jumped down and we had a worse game against Seattle. I actually see a team that, for me, has played fairly consistently throughout the year. Their game has looked the same. You've heard them. They've said that we haven't got to a 60-minute game yet so far this season. We haven't got to our structure yet this season. And what I see is a team that's getting over the bar when they're playing teams like Calgary or Vancouver who are struggling a little bit more, and they're not getting over the bar against teams who have things a little bit more figured out. So overall, I think that for me, that's important information to look at and digest, because what it means is the Jets, if they want to get out of this spot where right now, all of a sudden, never mind trying to chase Colorado for first place, they're tied with teams. They have games in hand, but they're tied with the Oilers in points who are outside of the playoffs right now. They need to raise their level of the game so that that average number of wins against better teams starts going up. As long as they can keep beating the teams below that playoff line, they should be fine.
Looking at Mitchell Clinton right now is just saying that line rushes out of Calgary are the same as what we saw in the last game against Seattle. So no surprise, no changes there. Going up against this Calgary team, Sean, obviously they're 32nd in the league. They have had some monumental struggles. But they do come in they shut out San Jose the other night. And so they hope that for their sake that's a building block, and they have been better at home than they have been on the road. What is it that you're going to watch for tonight in this game, whether it be matchups or what you're looking to see from Winnipeg in order to maybe see signs of what you've been talking about what we need to see them get to in order to have some success going forward?
Well, specifically in this matchup, for me, a lot of it is about mistakes. And one of the things that I think the Jets have stayed really, really on top of, which made them a great team last year. Like last year, they were a pressure team that pressured you and pressured you and pressured you. And then when you made mistakes, the Jets do an unbelievable job of capitalizing on mistakes. And I think if you just take a look at that Seattle game, a couple of their goals, there's a turnover that Dylan Sandberg creates, and all of a sudden, boom, the puck's back down the ice. Mark Scheifele's on a breakaway. It's in the back of the net. The first goal of that game, a Seattle player gets a little exuberant, tries to hit one of the Jets defensemen, takes out one of his own guys. That creates an odd man rush. The Jets go down. They capitalize on that. It makes me think of a game earlier this year against the Calgary Flames in which it was a grind, and it will be. I expect it to be tonight because Calgary knows how to grind, and Winnipeg's a grind team. So it shrinks the level level of discrepancy between these two teams for me, because they both play that one same style. But in one of those games, Mark Scheifele ends up, I think Mark Scheifele gets out and he passes it across to Kyle Connor for the game winner. And it's a play in which Nazem Kadri just kind of takes the play off. It creates that one little edge, and the Jets exploit that edge. So for me, what I'm looking for here tonight is that's been a problem with the Calgary Flames. Their work level has been there. Their attitude, I think, has been there, but they've been a mistake-prone hockey club. And when they make mistakes, it ends up in the back of their net. And I think that the Jets have capitalized on that twice now playing against them, and it's one of the things they still do really well, and that I think gives them an edge in this game.
Well, buddy, appreciate you coming on the show.
On this Saturday afternoon.
It's Saturday. Have fun staying up late one more time on this road trip with Kenny. Well, he's in the normal time zone for him, and enjoy the game tonight. Hopefully they come up to win.
Yeah, you were giving me a bunch of credit for staying up late. I give credit to the audience that is able to stay awake through me talking at that time of the morning, to be honest with you.
And there's a lot of them, because I don't know, Jamie probably goes to sleep right away. I stay up.
What?
John, I stay up. And
no wonder you don't know what day it is, Sarah.
That's exactly. That's why. Because I stay up and I watch Kenny and Rennie afterwards.
Oh my
Well,
I'm a true supporter and believer.
Oh my God.
Just saying.
You should just be hopping on the show then. I don't know why you're not just hopping into the show. Let us know you're there.
Test this system tonight. I want Sarah to come on your show tonight.
Make a comment, Sarah, and I will have you in the green room in no time. Don't worry.
But not right after the game. Wait like 15 minutes after your show starts. Then let's test this theory.
Can see me with
okay.
in my pajamas.
With the hair curlers in.
With the hair curlers. Exactly.
There we go.
Yeah. Think of that 70s show.
Give the people what they want.
Like. Exactly.
Good stuff. I think we're going to have a big audience tonight, folks.
I think so too. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you. See ya.
Have fun at the Grey Cup tomorrow, buddy. Apparently, somebody in the chat said they saw you at St. Paul's last night. Do you want to talk about why?
Well, it was the conference final for varsity girls for varsity girls volleyball. So anyways, often see me in a gym, whether it's volleyball or basketball. I'm not too hard to find. If I'm not at the rink, I'm usually in a gym.
You did a nice job of like downplaying how good your daughter is at volleyball. Thank you.
Well, no. It's
she's pretty good
for it. It was so great to see. I did see that comment as well. So great to see that there were others. There was a packed house. Love to be able to see people going out and supporting our high school athletes, and what an experience for them to be able to play in front of loud cheering fans.
It's great.
It's wonderful.
High school sports should have more of that anyway. So okay, great stuff from Sean.
Yes, as always. Kenny and Rennie, make sure you do watch it. Available after every Winnipeg Jets game.
We should switch to
No, we should not. Nope. No, we should not do post game.
No,
nope. Because we love those guys. They can have it.
That's a good point.
Same with the legal curve.
Support them.
That's right.
Yeah, we will watch your show, but we will not do a show.
He did say, let's talk just quickly about this Flames team. And looking at this Flames team, they are expected to have the same lineup that they had. No changes from them recently. Mackenzie Weegar had a maintenance day yesterday. He is good to go. Dustin Wolf is going to get the start. But this is a team that has struggled mightily, as we mentioned, and their power play has been abysmal at home.
Yeah.
But they are still a team that obviously you cannot overlook, just like you can't any of the teams in this league on any given night.
No, and like I even think of this is the final meeting. This will be the third time they play each other, and it's not even the end of November yet. The times where Winnipeg had lapses, Calgary can make you pay.
Yes.
But Calgary takes a lot of penalties. They make a lot of mistakes. So it'll probably be another sloppy game unless Winnipeg gets on them early in the game. So, and your last game of a road trip always a concern, especially a long one like this one. But I think the Jets will be locked in tonight to try and finish this off in a positive fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. Wanting to get back to 500 on this trip, with it being 1-4 at the moment. Then they're going to come home, and they're home for 3, and then they go back out on the road. Thankfully, in the Eastern time zone, though, a bit more, so we don't have to worry about the late nights to the same extent. But they will come home. They start off Tuesday at home against Columbus. They play Friday against Carolina, the
Yep.
return of Nikolai Ehlers, and then Sunday it's an afternoon game against the Minnesota Wild. So there is the opportunity next week to be able to come back inside Canada Life Center. It has been weeks since you've been here, to be able to watch this team in person.
You know, something that we haven't had a chance to point out. I cannot believe that Kyle Connor had not scored a power play goal since like last December.
That's unbelievable. And we had mentioned that on a broadcast a while ago, and it was something that had shocked me, because I actually went back and double checked. We have great statisticians that do all this, but it's so unbelievable because of the frequency with which he scores.
Yes.
And how potent that power play had been last year and to start.
Yeah, you think the number one power play.
Yes.
Have hordes of power play goals.
100%, but was thankfully able to get a power play goal the other night.
Yeah, let's take a look at that.
The sense of relief on this one from Kyle. He's had so much to do with this power play and hasn't scored in so long. Hard to believe. Look at the way Velarde. He's net front. Puck goes to the other side. It's Perfetti net front. All sorts of different options, and their one-timer, it finally finds its way to the back of the net. It wasn't clean, but they'll take it. Look at the look from Connor.
So right there, you just see the genius of Kyle Connor, how he moves himself into a spot where that shot can get off, and like the release is tremendous. And he's never going to admit it, but the reaction after he scored that goal tells you everything you need to know about how he was feeling about, not being able to score in the power play. But that goes to show you that how many options and how many dangerous players they have on their power play units. That's why they're able to survive, not Kyle Connor. And he's become a great playmaker in that essence too. Penalty kills, cheat over to Kyle Connor to make it hard for him to have those type of shot opportunities. Right. So, I mean, he gets that one chance, gets a little bit of space, and he makes you pay. That just goes to show you how great of a goal scorer he is. But just so weird, a weird stat that they had gone back to December of last year where he had scored a power play goal.
Well, and you and I are just speaking of stats that we wouldn't have expected. Now, we know that obviously defensively that this team has not been at the level that we have seen in recent seasons. But you and I were talking before the start of the show. They are at 2.76 goals against allowed,
which is any team would kill for.
100%.
Yes.
But the bar has been set
so
high. That right now would be their highest since the 2021-22 season. They've allowed only one goal or fewer in just 2 of their 17 games. So they are taking longer to find their consistent game that's become synonymous with them. But you do know what the DNA of this team is. It's just a matter of them being able to find it.
And tonight's the start of consistency for them as they play the Calgary Flames. With the amount of time and conversation, the quick practice yesterday, wanting to end this road trip on a positive and then roll into this homestand coming up, you just get the sense, listen to the players and Scott O'Neill, they're dialed in and should be able to get this done tonight.
You were on the legal curve this morning with the guys. One of our favorite ways to start a Saturday morning.
Right.
I should have right off the hop with that, knowing that it was a Saturday anyways.
Because yes.
But what was your title?
Creator of positivity.
Creator. See, when you need it, that's where you go to. This is the start tonight of the consistency.
Right.
Why?
Creator of consistency.
Well, just because you are.
If you're a guest on StreamYard, it gives you your name and then it says whatever your title is. And then there was an example. It's a creator. I can't even remember what it was. So I'm a creator of positivity.
That's you.
Because we're trying. Yeah. Oh.
All the time.
Just never.
Just
negative.
oozes it. Yeah.
Especially as a dad, husband.
You know, it has been just quickly as we, finish wrapping up here for it and look back again for those that might have missed it with morning skate going underway in Calgary, thanks to just the 1 hour time change, which we are thrilled about. Mitchell Clinton reporting that there are no changes from the line rushes from what we saw in the game against Seattle. So you on that fourth line, you see Tanner Pearson, Parker Ford, and Gus Nyquist.
Yes.
Sandberg and Pionk, of course, are together. Stanley and Shen are your third D pairing. The rest, as one would expect. While going through.
Yeah, can't they didn't play terrible to make dramatic
No, of course
changes.
not. And you can't change your lines all the time. You can do adjustments in game when necessary. But
Morgan Barron, Cole Koepke getting closer.
So we expect to see them on this homestand, which will be great. And then there'll be lots to talk about what happens with the lines. Are they what we are predicting for it? Will Scott or Neil go a different way? We will wait and see, but they will face 2 Eastern Conference opponents when they come home, and then they'll wrap up that homestand with a divisional game against the Minnesota Wild. It has been, if you were in Winnipeg, it has been a great week here because it's Grey Cup week. Grey Cup is tomorrow. Amazing. It's been fantastic. But just the energy around the city has been great. I've heard nothing but fantastic things about the Grey Cup Festival that has been going over at the Convention Center or at various places, Fan Fest that is going on down by the U of W as well. So if you have the opportunity, get out there. If you're driving around downtown, you have probably seen people walking around in their team colors and uniforms. When we were driving in today for the show, I was coming in and already everybody was out saw some guys that were in Stamps outfits, hats on, face painted, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's 10:30 in the morning. But there's nothing like a Grey Cup week.
James Duthie was our guest on Thursdays, right? Super Bowl is very corporate.
Yes.
Grey Cup is like all the fan base. You don't see that at Super Bowl at all. It's just like all the fan bases. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's one of the cool parts about Grey Cup is just all the different fan bases that come around, all the city's parties or the team parties.
Yeah.
Very cool. Even the Atlantic Schooners. Do they still do that?
I
still
believe
around?
so.
I haven't been to a Grey Cup party in a very long time.
For it.
Yeah.
But it has been great. So if you have the opportunity to enjoy any of it, the Santa Claus Parade is going on today. Again, beautiful weather.
We got to get out of here.
For it.
What time does that start at?
Do we have to get out of here, or are we going to be able? You might see us on a float.
Yeah.
We're just going to jump on a float. We parked
Try
over.
to get to the-
I parked over there. Can I hop on a float?
Just let me cross. I'm just over there.
That's right. If you could just take me down 3 blocks, I'll hop off. That would be fantastic.
Super.
But lots going on around in the city, and you love to see that, and you love to see downtown being vibrant with so many people. Grey Cup tomorrow.
You're going?
I am going for it. Looking forward to
What's
it.
the weather going to be like tomorrow?
It's supposed to be very nice. I haven't checked what the final temperatures are supposed to be, but it's supposed to be great. So looking forward to that. Obviously, people disappointed that the Bombers are not in it, but Riders and Owls should be a great Grey Cup. We are looking forward to, and number of Winnipeg Jets players were asked for their predictions going into tomorrow.
Right.
I think Saskatchewan's going to win 33-21.
Riders 37-24.
I think the Alouettes are going to win 28-27.
Penalty markers down.
Rough Riders 34-27. MVP goes to number 46, long snapper Jorgen Hoos. Bleed green, baby.
I
Your buddies,
knew
right?
it would. They are. Yeah, they've been good friends since they were teenagers, about 14, 15 years old, something like that. Yeah, so actually it was Jorgen that got Luke and his family to their first Banjo Bowl this year that they had the opportunity to. So you knew that the 2 Sasky guys, Nathan Fleury and Luke Shen, were going to be cheering for the Riders. And I always say one of my favorite things with Shen, the ultimate prairie guy, when he first got drafted or first came into the league and was playing with the Leafs, I was covering the Leafs at the time. So I was always doing sidelines too for CFL. And I would walk into the Leafs room and right away and go, what'd you think of that game last night?
Right.
Or what'd you think of the Riders with this and that? So it's always one of my go-tos. I love anybody that I can sit and talk football with, but in particular, the CFL.
Do you think Flaherty? You think he's just throwing the numbers out there?
For it. I don't know.
I thought he looked like he was just guessing.
Maybe. Well, but I mean, throwing out the scores.
Yeah.
It's not an easy one
The
to predict.
Saskatchewan guys locked in.
Of course.
Felt like they were ready to go on that one. Okay.
Well, Prairie guys.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's
Thanks so
right.
much for watching. We
hope-
appreciate it.
Yes.
Enjoy
On
your
this
Sunday.
No.
Enjoy
shh,
Sunday.
Don't screw me up like that again. I apologize. It is Saturday afternoon.
Right.
So we hope you all have a fantastic Saturday afternoon. Enjoy tonight's Flames and Jets game Saturday night, coming to you from the Saddle Dome. The
We'll
Jets
see
will
you
return home
Tuesday.
before
gonna see
the
you
Grey Cup
Tuesday.
here in Winnipeg on Sunday.
Wednesday.
And we will see you all on Tuesday when the
Wednesday.
next edition of Check-In happens as we get you ready for the Winnipeg Jets and Columbus Blue Jackets as the Jets kick off a 3-game homestand.
See you, everybody.
Have a great rest of your weekend. Thanks for checking in.